All right, today we're going to crack open the playbook for something, well, something truly audacious. It's a plan to build a billion-dollar company in just 12 months. This is the blueprint for a project they call Project Sigma.
So right out of the gate, the pitch deck hits you with just 2 words, unicorn loading. Think about that. It's not a hope, it's not a wish, it's presented like a progress bar. That kind of confidence really sets the tone for a plan that's designed to eliminate chance entirely.
And what exactly are they loading? Well, you're looking at it. A $1 billion valuation. The pitch makes it crystal clear that this isn't just a goal, it's a pre-programmed destination. Okay, and this is the line that really got me. The core argument here is that a $1 billion valuation is no longer a dream, it's a calculation. So you know what, let's do it. Let's unpack that formula. How in the world do you engineer a unicorn?
So where does a plan this big even begin? Well, that brings us to Section 1, the core concept. And right at the heart of this entire plan is this idea they call a sovereign trust layer. So what on earth is a sovereign trust layer? Let's break it down. In simple terms, think of it as a system for building financial trust in places where the usual systems, well, they just haven't worked. It's almost like creating a brand new, universally accepted credit score, but for an entire global community that's been historically left out.
Okay, so that's the what. But the real question is, what problem does this actually solve? And more importantly, who is it for?
And here's our answer. The target is the African diaspora. The whole point is to build this trust layer to, and this is key, unlock a completely new financial asset class. Basically, it's about creating a much better way to measure financial credibility for this huge global community.
Okay, so we've got the big idea. But how do you possibly build something like this at, lightning speed? That's what brings us to the engine of the plan, what they call the high-velocity blueprint.
So their whole strategy for moving this fast really boils down to 2 key pillars. First, you stand on the shoulders of giants. Use Google Cloud to just leapfrog years of development. And second, and this is smart, don't reinvent the wheel. They plan to basically copy a blueprint that's already proven to work. It's all about reducing risk.
Yeah, the big word here is speed. By building on top of Google Cloud, they're not starting from scratch. They're literally compressing years of hard work into just a few months. And this speed, they argue, is what creates what they call a vertical valuation curve. I mean, think about that. Instead of slow, steady growth, the company's value is supposed to just shoot straight up.
And here's that second pillar in action. It's all about imitation. They are not guessing what might work. Nope, they've zeroed in on a really successful company called TRM Labs, which built a pretty similar trust layer, but for the crypto world. So Project Sigma's core strategy is actually super simple. Take that proven model and just apply it to a massive, completely untapped market.
Right. An ambitious plan like this with a fast-track strategy, well, it's going to need a whole lot of fuel. And that brings us to the financial engine of this whole operation, a 3-act funding sprint.
And wow, when they say sprint, they mean it. The entire journey to $1 billion is mapped out over just 12 months. And look at this, 3 huge funding rounds are scheduled back-to-back. A Series A right in month 1, a Series B at the 6-month mark, and then the Series C to hit that 1-year finish line. It's aggressive, to say the least.
So, Act 1, the launch. It all kicks off with a $5 million Series A. This first chunk of cash is all about one thing, getting their minimum viable product out the door and into the market, like right now. Then, just 6 months later, we're already at Act 2, velocity. And the number gets a lot bigger, a $25 million Series B. Now, the goal here isn't just to grow, it's to build what they call a data moat, basically a unique data set so valuable that it becomes almost impossible for any competitor to ever catch up.
And then we get to the grand finale. At the 12-month mark, the plan is to raise an absolutely staggering $100 million in a Series C round. This is the final push. This is the one that's designed specifically to cross that finish line and lock in that billion-dollar unicorn valuation.
So when you lay it all out like this, you can really see the logic, right? Each round has a very specific job. That first $5 million, that's all about getting to market and grabbing those first customers. The next $25 million, that's for building that unbeatable data advantage with their Sigma score. And that final $100 mil, well, that's for the exit or for just total market domination. It's a really clear, escalating strategy.
So you take all these meticulously planned pieces, you put them all together, and what do you actually have? Well, the project has its own answer for that. They call it engineered inevitability. Yeah, the source material just lays it out there, plain and simple. This isn't a dream, it's an engineered inevitability. I mean, that one line really captures the entire philosophy of this pitch, doesn't it? The idea that with the right blueprint, the right tech, and the right money, success isn't something you hope for, it's something you manufacture.
So let's just quickly recap the 4 key parts of this unicorn blueprint. First, you've got the core concept, the sovereign trust layer. Then you have the velocity engine, Google Cloud to make it happen fast. You've got the proven model, basically benchmarking TRM labs. And finally, you have the financial rocket fuel, that super fast 3-stage funding sprint.
And this brings us to our final thought here. When you see a plan this meticulously engineered, from a simple idea all the way to a billion-dollar valuation in just 12 months, it really makes you wonder, doesn't it? Is this the future of finance, or is it maybe the future of fundraising? It feels like a blueprint that's just as much about building a valuation as it is about building a company. Something to think about.